Hi, it's Chris here, out this morning, and I have another go at this video, as I did one the other day and the commentary wasn't very nice and I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to give it another go. But it's just sitting here, have a bit of peace and quiet, and it's lovely here. There's give you a rundown of where we are. Just on the outskirts of Norwich here, and not far off Ham Street and Waterworks Road. So this is now like a communal park area now, but there's a little building in front of me which I will talk about in a minute. Okay, right, this is SaintBartholomew's Church. It was built in the 15th century of flint, brick and some stone dressing, but as you can see now, only the tar remains. Look here, little now there are one or two little flagstones in the grass, and they are grave markers, and we'll go and discover them in a minute. One or two pigeons there, what made this tar their home now. But there you go. Cuckoo. Part of the church was demolished in 1549 during the dissolution, but the walls remained and were incorporated into warehouses until the Norwich Corporation began clearing the site in 1939. So like I say, there were some walls that remained after the dissolution of this church, but remained until 1939. So it's got a lot of history, this place. Now in 1942, this site was hit by enemy bombs. This was due to the Baedeker raids in 1942. So this church was hit by one or two of the bombs that fell on this part of the city in 1942. And like I said, all you can see now is the remains of the tower after that particular bombing in 1942 of the Baedeker raids by German bombs. There were bells in this tower, but they were transferred to another church, which I can't find any records of, but they were transferred to another church somewhere and obviously reused, so they didn't go to waste. Like I say, there's no little communal area where people can come and relax. There's a children's play area there, but I don't know if that's been used. Now this is one of the true reminders of the Blitz on Norwich in 1942. It is easy to find and visit. Like I say, it's just off Ham Street and Waterworks Road, just behind me. and it's got one or two entrances where you can come in on. One through the little Bartholomew's close, which is the they came through, and one to my right, and one onto Waterworks Road there. So it's easy to find. There's a lot of parking around, so you might have to walk into it, but that's all very nice. Now this church served a densely populated, quite poor region of the city at the time. You couldn't quite believe it now, how it is now, but this was considered a slum part of the city, so it's quite poor. So this church served the community then, and maybe looked after the people who were quite poor. Let's just have a little walk round. Oh, this is rather nice. Let's say peaceful. Birds are singing in the trees and bushes here. There's a little seating area here. Now these little bricks or pavement slabs you can see on the floor was what they called the nave of the church. And you can see it's quite a small squat little building, or was a small squat little building, so it wasn't that big. So let's imagine that goes up to this part, I believe, maybe ended here, and looking back onto it there, as you see the building was small and squat. And I don't know how many congregation that had at the time, but maybe congregation maybe 150 probably, I don't know. I ain't gone into that sort of history. I'm not a historian. Just an orange boy trying to find those nice little areas to show you and look at and appreciate. Now the parish of Ham is about as close you can get to the city centre without being part of the city centre, if you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say, because we had walls around the city at the time, and this church just fell outside of that area, so it wasn't considered part of the city but just outside. During 1942, like I say, during the raids of German bombers, of the Baedeker raids of Norwich, there are many lives lost. Sadly, 340 Norwich citizens lost their lives during them raids in 1942, and they are now laid at rest on Earlham Cemetery in a mass grave, where they all lay together, because they all killed all that period, so they all now lay to rest up there. We can now go and visit and pay your respects to them, which is rather nice as well. Now, as I came up here the other day, there were a couple of grave markers here, right at this part of the church. Now this is as close as you could get to the altar as possible. The more closer you were to the altar, the more important you were. So I imagine these were very important people here. So like I say, if you had lots of money, you could buy your way into the house of God, so to speak. But I'm not very well looked after. I'm afraid. It'd be nice to, you know, just clear this little area out so people can have a look. Maybe, who knows, some nice local chap might be able to come up and have a little clear up. Who knows? Just talking about the Baedeker raids on Norwich at the time, they were retaliation attacks by the Germans on what the British did to them earlier on, previously, about 6 months earlier, I would think, not as much long as that I wouldn't have thought, but previously the British did done some attacks over Germany, and the Germans retaliated in 1942, what should we now call the Baedeker raids, and they concentrated their attacks on historic and cultural sites. Historic sites are maybe, like I say, it's churches, places where people congregated and that sort of thing, just trying to lessen their morale, so to speak. But the attacks, like I say, were on the city rail station, which was up on St Crispin's Road roundabout. There's a old railway station there, and that was bombed, and the Germans found out their attack from there, and which then obviously 1 or 2 bombs fell on this place, and like I said, they found out from the city station over the coming days. Let's say 340 Norwich citizens sadly lost lives during them attacks. It's hard to believe that we had 2 railway stations into Norwich then. Like I say, one on Ham Street and one up Thorpe or Riverside Road now. Well, it's just gone on your look on the over there now, just all over there. I think there's another gravestone over there, so I'll make our way over there. Well, I thought I was on this side, but I was on the other side, sorry. But I thought I'd just come over here. Just so this is the perimeter of the church. It's just sitting just over there. You can see the railings. It's just partitioning off some of the walls, so you can't get that close on that side anyway. But on the other side you can do. I thought there was a gravestone there, but it's just a manhole cover. Well, the sun's come out. So just over there is the Norwich Waterworks. Well, no, like I say, where I'm standing, it's only not very far away from Waterworks there, and I assume that, like I said, this church got bombed. It's quite possible that one or two more bombs got dropped over there, but I can't find any information if it was bombed or not. So but that has got some lovely buildings over there as well. I've been on that site. There's got some lovely buildings. So like I said, I don't know if that's bombed or not, so but it's quite possible that one or two strayed over that area. Now this is one of the grave markers, or gravestones I could find the other day, and that was sacred to the memory of the Reverend William. Now, I say, it'd be nice to have his little area cleared up, just tidy up a little bit, so people can see who was buried here and read about them, pay their respects. Like so I tried to clear away a little bit of growth the other day with my foot, but I have to come over with well, someone might have to come over and have a little tidy up. You know, if I get a chance, I might do. Just tidy up a little bit, get around the edges. It's quite a big stone. Yeah, it's quite a big stone. Their husband, by his, I don't know, her husband, yeah. So I think this stone was dedicated to her husband by his sorrowing widow. Right, so I can't say a date on it, but I can a month, but October-ish, but I can't say any else than that. Like, this is just one of them, and the other two were just in front of the altar, as I saw. I'll show you earlier in the video. So there's the stone. And there's the other entrance on Waterworks Road, and Ham Street is just that way. It's nice they left some of this on the boundary of this church, so like overgrown and left as it is. So nice for the wildlife. But It's got a nice grass area, which has been well kept by the looks of it by the local council. Now this, I think, could have been part of the old nave. I think there is writing on it, but like I say, it's too old to even try to read now. But I think that would have been part of the old nave. This is a quite substantial bit of stone there. So let's say this church isn't very big, and a smaller squat sort of building, but big enough to serve the community. Now on top of the tower there, on the edge of the building there, you can see some little faces that look like gargoyles. Now they are there to direct the rain away from the tower and out from the building. So they're gargoyles. Grotesques are different. You see them different in different parts of the churches. On the roof, on the inside of the roof, that sort of stuff. They're grotesques. These are gargoyles. So they direct water away from the tower. So you'll see I had some different. There's a better one on this side. Hang on, guys. And then we'll try and zoom in if we can. But there's a different one on the side. Sorry about the picture there, but that is a gargoyle. So you can see in the mouth where the rainwater comes out of. There's one on the edge of this building here. Sorry about the picture, it's not very good. The sun's right over the top of the tower there. But they're gargoyles. And there's one more stone I want to show you. Now I have seen pictures online, going back, I was looking at the other day, I can't remember what the dates where you were, but this church had many gravestones in it, but like I said, they're all gone now, and just these two, two or three, like I say, in front of the nave there, in front of the altar, and then these two. That. God. Now this is SaintBartholomew's Hayam. Now there are two St Bartholomew's in Norwich. This one and the other one is up on Burr Street. There isn't much of that church, remaining. Only a small piece of wall which now remains up there, which you can still see it, but as I say, there's not very much left. And I think that's another church that was bombed and targeted by the Germans of the Baedeker raids, 1942. What happened to the light just then? Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Like I say, there's not much here. There's a little hump there. I don't what it is. I don't know. That's nice, isn't it? It's lovely, nice and peaceful. Like I say, this is just literally 5 minutes from where I live. Thought I'd just come out and show you this morning, because like I said, this is I won't say forgotten, but only to the local people that live here. So if you want to come have a look, there are entrances on from Nelson Street into SaintBartholomew's Close. Like I said, that's a residential area. I don't think there's room for parking down there. But they said there are entrances walking wise into this area. So there's 3 entrances. One that I said on Waterworks Road, SaintBartholomew's Close, and one on that side there. So there's 3 entrances to here, so you can come have a little look, have a little visit, pay your respects to the Reverend over there, and the other 2 or 3 people that are buried in front of the altar. But let's just go and have a look at the doorway there, because that would have been the entrance to the tower, which you can't get into nowadays. Yeah, that ain't very nice in there, guys. It's just now been used by pigeons up in the tower, which you can hear. Not much, and that doesn't smell very nice. You can probably imagine what that's been used for. But it's a shame. It's a shame. Don't think that's nothing. Like I say, there's some gravestones there, I think, under the undergrowth. These ones here and that one there. Yeah. And I think that'd be it for today, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little short video of St Bartholomew's Hayam. Let's go. Let's bring it down. Like I say, if you enjoyed this video of Hayam, the Church of Hayam here, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you like. The options there, okay? If you like to see more, just ask me, and I try and do my best to sort out the location you would like to have a look around and see what I can do for you. But in the meantime, I'll see you again next time. It's Chris here. Bye.